Hi class, so here is the last of the fogs that we're going to talk about. So this is the second of two fogs that form by adding water vapor to the air. And so this is called a frontal fog, and it's normally associated with warm fronts, although stationary fronts are possible too. And so with a warm front, we've got the warm, moist, less dense air is doing the advancing, and it advances on a wedge of cold, denser air. So we got the warm, moist air advancing on the wedge of cold, dense air. And when it does, the warm, moist air, being less dense, will climb up over the back. On back of that cold air wedge. All right, and so when that happens, then all of those things, let's see if you remember. So when air rises, pressure decreases, air expands, density decreases, temperature decreases, saturation mixing ratio decreases, and relative humidity increases. And in this case, we're going to form most likely a stratus cloud. So we'll just draw these stratus type clouds here. And so as a result, the stratus clouds form. All right, and the stratus clouds then are going to precipitate out some little misty, drizzly precipitation. So little tiny water droplets falling below the cloud base. And so we'll draw that here. So a little misty, drizzly precipitation. And what that is going to do, those that misty mist and the drizzle will evaporate in the air below. The cloud base. Below the cloud base. Okay, and what that is going to do is it's going to saturate the air. Saturates the air. Okay, so now this air below the cloud base is saturated. And when it becomes saturated, it's going to lower the cloud base. So this stratus cloud's base is going to lower, and then you've got, and this process just continues. You've got more precipitation, and it saturates the air, and the cloud base lowers, and you get more drizzly, misty precipitation, and the cloud base lowers until the cloud base is on the ground, and at that point it becomes what's called a frontal fog. And so these are types of fog. They can be fairly dense, fairly thick. This makes for a really gloomy, dreary, drizzly, damp, yucky day. And you know, because it's a frontal fog, it's associated with a warm front. It's probably going to stick around for a day. Rarely more than that, but it's not a a 2 or 3 hour long event. This is kind of an all-day event. Okay, and so as a result, well, this is what that's how a frontal fog forms, and again, it's just makes for a really drizzly day. So that takes care of the two fogs that form by adding water vapor to the air. The first was the steam fog that we talked about earlier. And here you have the frontal fog. Okay, that takes care of the fogs for us.